Hello and welcome to the first annual Alistair is Awarding. You see what I did there? I mean, I'm not gonna say that it was clever, but if you wanted to comment saying it was clever, I'm not gonna blame you. I'm not gonna disagree. Today we have 6 categories of books. I'd show you all 6 on one hand, but I only have 5 fingers and then there's a microphone. Oh, the microphone is the 6th finger. There you go. Isn't that genius? But before we get started, the rules. Everybody's favourite part of an awards show. We have 6 categories. Best character, best plot, best standalone, best series, best world, best theme. Not in that order, that's just the order I remembered it in. Then we will have 3 nominees per category. And each category will have 1 winner that I have decided. Let's get into the prizes. Also, one extra bonus rule I forgot to mention. Each book can only be nominated once. So we will have 18 distinct books, and I'm going to briefly go over the nominees and focus mostly on the winners. And I'm not going to keep going down out of frame each time. I think I'm done. I think we're just going to do first category, which is going to be best theme. And the nominees are it's just an empty envelope. The Rusted Axe Still Cuts by Denver C. Binion. This is a dark, gritty fantasy by an indie author who I definitely don't know. Number 2, Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This is a book that I loved. That is a dark academia about 2 academics going down into hell. And number 3, we have To Shape a Dragon's Breath, which is about a girl on an island that gets colonized and she hatches a dragon and then she's sent off to rider school in the colonized lands and has to fit into their culture. So, the winner is To Shape a Dragon's Breath by Monokill Black Goose. I mentioned this book in my top 10 video, as I mentioned most of these, so I don't want to go into too much depth about the overall book, but the theme of colonization is done fantastically here. In my opinion, much better than Babel. This is a YA book, and to have such depth within a YA book that I have not stopped thinking about this book, and I read it, I think, in February. It's very, very impressive. So if you're looking for a book that delves into colonization as a theme, this is the one to go for, genuinely. Our second category is Best World, or World Building, or whatever you want to call it, setting, that thing. Our 3 nominees are Dungeon Crawler Car by Matt Dinnerman, which follows a dude and his pet cat following the apocalypse, going into a game show down some stairs. I'll describe it better later when it wins. Number 2, All That We See or Seem by Ken Liu. This is a near-future sci-fi which looks kind of terrifyingly at AI and new technologies that feel incredibly real. Number 3, we have Strength of the Few. Down there. I can't be bothered to lift it up. This is the follow-up to Will of the Many. I can't say anything about the world without spoiling the Will of the Many, so we're just gonna keep that one quiet. And the winner is, big drum roll, nobody knows what's gonna win. Whoa, what could it be? What could it be? Whoa, it's Dungeon Crawler Carl. No way, whoa, the crowd goes wild. Oh, I could add applause sound effects, but I can't be bothered to. Dungeon Crawler Carl had the best worlds for me. To be honest, I do think this book could have been nominated in most of the categories. This is the one that it was definitely going to win, though. Even if maybe it could have won other categories, but I've set up stupid rules so that I can talk about lots and lots of books that I love. This is a post-apocalyptic world where people have been shepherded into a game show run by aliens and they have to go down floor by floor and pass lots of tests and survive basically in a kind of D&D-esque style world, and it has a lot more depth to the world than I initially expected, and it's such a unique world that I just love. I think the world is probably one of the two things that makes this book so good, and I'm not allowed to talk about the other things because it won the World Award and not a different award. So we're only talking about the world. But there are other things that make this series good, but the world is a highlight. I feel like I dressed in a suit and became very serious, and it feels wrong. But we've kind of stuck with this personality. My personality changes every single video. We've stuck with this one, and we're running with it apparently. Serious. On to category number 3. We're getting into the big ones. Those ones, to me, as a reader, are slightly less important. What shall we make number 3? I haven't decided yet. We're going to go with plot. Our plot nominees are 11/22/63 by Stephen King, which follows a English high school teacher going back in time to stop the assassination of Kennedy. Robert R.F. Kennedy. Robert, what the flip is his name? To stop the assassination of RFK. Unsold, which is a series by Will White, progression fantasy set in a kind of Asian-esque inspired world, I want to say, where leveling up is very important. I won't say any more. And our third nominee is The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher, which follows Chicago's only wizard PD. And the winner is The Dresden Files. Yeah, so I read the first 8, 9 something books a wee while ago, and then I jumped back into this series this year, and every single book has a plot that builds upon the previous books, but is also episodic in that it stands on its own, kind of, but also builds somehow. I don't know how he does it. I am always turning the next page, desperate to find out what is happening to our wizard, Harry Dresden, and I'm going to stop speaking like this now. Brilliant. Brilliant series. Very misogynistic at the start. But I got past that, and now it's slightly less misogynistic. It's a win for women everywhere. Naturally, we are going to go with character next, and our nominees are The Wild Robot. This is a kid's story, but I really love the characters, and it made me cry. And also, the adaptation is fantastic. Go read the book, then go watch the adaptation. Very lovable characters. The Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire. I've only read book 1, but really unique characters, all of whom are kids who've been sent down portals and found lives in these really weird world, which makes the characters bizarre. And the third nominee is The Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, which follows a black disabled author and her complex family dynamics. And the winner is The Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. I might actually get this one out of the shelf. Should I get this one out of the shelf? I own it, and it's signed. I'm not holding it there the whole time. I'll put a picture up. This is a fantastic book, and it follows a character who is morally grey. I love a morally grey character. You root for her anyway. She's fantastically written, and also the characters around her are fantastically written. They all felt like genuine, real people, which is so hard to do. I felt like I knew them. On to the big awards. First up, Best Series. We have, as our nominees, Queen's Thief by Megan Whalen Turner. This is a brilliant classic fantasy. The first book is an inspiration to a lot of authors, and the books just go from there. I think the first is the strongest, but they're all very, very good. Second, we have Her Majesty's Royal Coven, which is witches set in the UK, and they're like a secret government of witches. Awesome. Third is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. This is hard to describe, so I'm not going to. The winner is Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. I have been inconsistently saying author names throughout this video, and it continues. This is a brilliant series. I love the setting, which I mentioned. It's got brilliant trans rep, which genuinely, when I first read it, which was admittedly 3 or 4 years ago, I was definitely not by any means transphobic, but I didn't have the empathy I have now for transgender people, and this book changed that for me and changed my outlook to a far more empathetic one, and one where I was actually able to understand why trans rights were so important, rather than just being vaguely trans rights because that's the right thing to be. And to change someone's perspective on the world as substantially as this book has is very, very, very rare. I mean, this series. I'm really just talking about book 1 here, which I didn't read this year. But anyway, it won Series of the Year. It's my award, screw you. And finally, the best standalone of the year. This was, I will say, the most stacked category. I read a lot of fantastic standalones this year. But the nominees are The Light from Oncoming Stars by Raika Aoki, which is very weird sci-fi fantasy with a donut shop owner who is also an alien and a violin teacher who has also made a deal with the devil. Yes. Also nominated is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. The tagline for this is Toxic Lesbian Vampires. Finally, we have The Curse of Chalion, which is technically part of a series, but it can be read as a standalone, and I found out today it was on Reddit's list of standalones, so I've included it in my list. What are you going to do about it? Please don't unsubscribe, I only have like 3 of you. And the winner is, of course, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. We're moving to the side. I don't know if my lighting is going to cope with this. Shit. I love this book. Aren't they pretty? Aren't they pretty? And if you like morally grey characters, this is the place to go. It follows through time as time goes on. It's a really good description. Did I say toxic lesbian vampires? There are toxic lesbian vampires, guys. Time for the outro. And I know what to say at the outro. Like and subscribe, and read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. Look how pretty it is. Oh my god, it's so pretty.